Hello, I'm Willie and welcome to Horsepower. In this video we will recap the second half of the 2024 rally season. Go check out part 1 if you haven't seen it already. The New Zealand Rally Championship is currently at its halfway point. In my debut season I am driving an EZ30 powered Toyota GT86 in the open two-wheel drive class. At this stage, we are leading the championship after some consistent finishes. I'm also competing in my highly modified Toyota Celica GT4 in local rally sprints. First off, myself and the team leave our hometown of Christchurch in the South Island and venture off to a distant overseas land, the North Island. The next event is the Daybreaker Rally based in Palmerston North. This rally used to, as the name suggests, start in the middle of the night and race through the break of dawn. This modern version is slightly different, but we will still be racing in the dark. A cool change up from previous rounds, this rally has lots of corners. Many of them tight, not many straights, and did I mention lots of corners. The first challenge is a super special stage around Palmerston North's main entertainment venue, an oval speedway track with a rugby pitch inside.
Little sprinkle before we got underway as away go Hawes and Keeley.
And both cars having the same engine transplant, the H6 to the 3-litre 6-cylinder in both of these cars. Willie a bit of a Toyota nut. Also got a fairly rapid Toyota Celica, which he's running at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint next weekend. And as we said, leading the open two-wheel drive. Same power plant in Amy Keeley's car, but of course four-wheel drive. And part of that very successful formula as we've touched on.
Well, he's done a great job through the first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Done a great job of keeping his nose clean.
The mark of consistency, yep.
Yep. And that's how you put together a championship campaign. You know, Dave Strong had that engine failure in the first round and it's really put him on the back foot before he started. So
we continue to see the development of Amy Keeley getting faster and faster.
Really seems to be flourishing in that partnership with Grant Mara and Willie Hawes up way ahead, so overcoming the two-wheel drive deficit.
He's looked very tidy, hasn't he, through the super special to this point?
Yeah, beautiful pattern. Oh,
I think we're going to have to wave it off because he's made up so much time. I'm a little confused what happens there. He must get in this.
This actually went quite well for us, catching the car in front of us. As you can see, we got red flagged and got an assessed time. Things started to go downhill from here. The second stage started at 4 in the morning. The car was locked up and parked for me overnight, and I left the key at the hotel. By the time it was retrieved, we were a couple of minutes late and got a small penalty. We had to put that behind us. There had been a lot of rain overnight, so the conditions were treacherous. We got through the dark and slippery stage 2 cautiously, but without incident. Then in stage 3, the brake pedal went straight to the floor, no brakes. We could continue, but slowly. Once we limped to service, we found a stone had got between the caliper and the rim, and put a hole in the caliper. This meant all the fluid would squirt out with each pump. Often a good time, but not when it comes to brakes. We had lost so much time limping through a couple of stages, any hope of a good finish was gone. By now the wet roads had become very muddy and had claimed many victims. There were 3 of us in the open two-wheel drive class. The tricky stages had gotten the better of Murray Percival, promoting us to second behind Dave Strong. With no hope of catching him, we focused on keeping the car on the road and enjoying the amazing stages. And this is where we finished up. We are still leading the championship, but with Dave closing in on us.
Alongside the NZRC two-wheel drive class, there's the open two-wheel drive class. The Honda Jazz, Dave Strong leading through the morning stages.
And with that big V6 mid-mounted in the rear, the high horsepower rear-wheel drive short wheelbase, make no mistake, this is the most difficult car in the New Zealand Rally Championship to run in these conditions.
Toyota 86 of Willie Hawes lost brakes in stage 1. Hawes was nursing it through the stages to get to the service park at Taihape, where he'd replace a brake caliper. Murray Percival held second at stage 5, but an off-road excursion on stage 6 would see him retire.
And with him sitting second in the class, unfortunately, his best result to date would slip away.
Strong continued to lead the class and would end the day 17th outright, now closes to within 30 points of the class lead with 2 rounds remaining. After the service at Taihape, Hawes was able to regain some pace, just missing out on a power stage class victory here by under a second. But keeping his car going to the end, Hawes scored enough points to keep his class lead, however.
The very next weekend, and back home, we take on one of my favourite events, the famous Ashley Forrester Rally Sprint. The Toyota 86 will be camping up in the North Island for a while, but this challenge is perfect for my Toyota Celica. In previous years, I've run it in the 4-wheel drive rally class, meaning it must have the 36mm turbo restrictor, choking the engine to around 350 horsepower. But this time, I've entered the unlimited 4-wheel drive class, so the full fury of around 450 horsepower will be unleashed. The car has made around 500 on the dyno, but I've taken some boost out of it in the name of reliability. My best time up until this point has been a 1:02.6. It has been a goal of myself, along with many other competitors, to crack the minute mark, a nice number for a benchmark to be considered a seriously quick driver on this road. The record stands at 52 seconds by Hayden Paddon in his 800 horsepower Hyundai hill climb car. Not many have even gone close. This piece of road is obviously quite short at 1.7 k's, and it's probably the most intense minute you could spend in a rally car, especially the downhill section, which tests your commitment and cojones. The elimination style of this event means any mistakes are severely punished. For myself, I made a solid start to the qualifying runs. You can't win on these first runs, but you certainly can bin it. The road gets further swept on each pass, increasing grip and speed. It's best to work your way up to full speed. Unfortunately, throughout the weekend, the Celica was getting hot under load and getting rather thirsty on the coolant. It was apparent that the head gasket was heading for retirement. Being such a short run, this was manageable. Just had to make sure it's full of coolant before each run and send our prayers to the rally gods. I was joined in competition by my good friend and business partner Scott Johnson, who was piloting his famous Mark III Supra. The event started off poorly for him, with some long-held electrical gremlins showing up. But we managed to get every eye onto it, and we finally found a dodgy connection. Once that was sorted, he had some solid runs, got quicker and quicker, and finished with a very respectable time of 1 minute 7 seconds and a class podium finish. The top 32 elimination run. I managed to get a low 102, a personal best, but this was despite plucking second gear for the hairpin rather than first. Easily 2 seconds were lost here, so I know the car and myself can go under the minute if I put it all together. Frustrating. But you can't make any mistakes here. This was still easily fast enough to get through to the next round, but by now the car was not happy at all. It bogged off the line and coughed and spluttered around the whole course. Despite losing lots of time, I ended up with a 104. Not quick enough for the next round. That's the thing about Ashley Forest, you always know you can do better, so you have to come back next year. Back to the New Zealand Rally Championship, and now to round 5. This one is in the Bay of Plenty. A good mix of fast and tight twisty roads, including some legendary stages used back in the day for the WRC.
Warmer here. It's brewing, the humidity's up as we see Willie Hawes and Jason Dwyer. Jason was confirmed as the Open Two-Wheel Drive Co-Driver Championship when the entry list was released.
In an unfortunate case of deja vu, we again lost brakes on stage 2. Just like last time, the handbrake cable was the MVP in getting us through 1.5 stages. Once we got to service, we found a ruptured brake hose and luckily we had a spare. The remainder of the event was trouble free, except for our intercom running out of batteries on the last stage. These were probably my favourite roads that I've driven thus far.
Of the 3 entries in the Open Two-Wheel Drive class, Dave Strong enjoyed another successful rally. He led from start to finish in the Honda Jazz. The challenge for Strong, though, was that he did not finish round 1, so the points lead is still held by Willie Hawes, who was happy to be second again.
And for Willie, this is absolutely playing the smart game. He got that points advantage after round 1 at Otago, and he's absolutely playing the smart game, playing the long game to secure an Open Two-Wheel Drive Championship.
Murray Percival having a few issues early in the day.
And it sounds like they're just not getting that car to run clean from the low end. Passed by a rotary too, that's every escort driver's worst nightmare.
Now back to the Celica. I whipped off the head to find a clearly blown head gasket. I also found a crushed fuel hose which wouldn't have helped at Ashley Forest. The factory 5S gasket went in the scrap and an HKS stopper gasket took its place. I also fabricated up a new oil catch can to stop the thing throwing oil, a problem that has been plaguing me since I put this setup together. The final event for the Celica was the Woods Road Rally Sprint. Here the car was absolutely perfect, no issues at all, and ended up 5th overall in a very strong field. Through the final round of the New Zealand Rally Championship, we would head to the far north to the Rally of Whangarei. This was a 2-day event and is famous for its amazing cambered roads. With only both ourselves and Dave entering the event, we only needed to finish to take the title, whereas Dave needed to finish and for me not to finish to win the championship. This sounds easy, but anything can happen over 2 days of rallying, and these roads are known to bite. Very narrow in places, and you can carry extra speed with the camber, but find yourself outside of the racing line or off the camber, and it can be over very quickly. Relative to strong, the tight stages suited us quite well, taking class stage wins in 3 out of the first 5 stages. They opened up and got faster later on, and Dave reeled us back in to lead us by 17 seconds.
Generated by a computer system, or some drivers
Yep.
write their own.
Yep.
And then they're able to put basic information around to create a safety note, and then you guys do a reconnaissance, especially this event being an international event, gets 2 passes.
2 runs.
As we see Willie Hawes, the Agile Performance Toyota 86, Jason Dwyer. So Jason already wrapped up the co-drivers championship of the Open 2-wheel drive.
Looking good down the hill.
Yeah, and Willie finished and secure that.
Kicked it in nice and early.
Sounds good, that car too,
Does,
doesn't it?
yeah. Oh, he's going to spin. Oh, no, he didn't. He hung on to it. Oh, look at the bog. Lucky. You don't want to get bellied there.
No, you don't want to get bellied anywhere, but in a public space it's 10 times more embarrassing. Yeah. So this is Willie Hawes and Jason Dwyer, and they're quite close to Dave Strong, Rob Scott. Only 17 seconds coming into the stage.
Second crest, flat over it, a little bit narrow, little dip of the brakes there.
Willie didn't do recce for this event, so just running on the straight Gemma safety notes.
Oh, actually, a really good line in the end.
That's nicely though,
a little
wasn't
bit
it?
wide though on the exit. But, you know, that's probably the deepest we've seen anyone on that apex. And getting a nice straight line coming out. Like I say, you can overcut a corner and it gives you a great line for that corner. Here's the replay of it. As he turns it in. Boy,
Just lifts that wheel.
did he have a brake on there? That's a really nice line. I'll give him that. That's probably the line of the day for me. Nice and wide in that ditch.
Yeah, fantastic job, and it's been great to see.
So Willie's just got to get to the end of today, banks those championship points, and he'll have a title to show for his efforts in 2024. Here is Willie.
Nice and tidy.
Better and better all season. His horse. And been involved in that battle with Dave Strong, and I think it was fair to say that Dave had the pace on him. Willie was a little more consistent. Dave had that DNF at Otago, which really sort of put him behind the 8 ball in terms of the championship battle. But not only has Willie been consistent, but he's been getting faster and faster. It's become a genuine pace battle between those two now. So
Yeah, which is cool. And I mean, like, you know, Strong, he's pretty consistent. He's been around a long time, and you know you have to go fast to beat Dave Strong.
We chose not to do reconnaissance at this event, and this came back to bite us in the arse. I went the wrong way around a cone on the final super special stage of the day, and this cost us quite heavily at 7 minutes. Pretty frustrating, but it didn't actually have any impact on the outcome. We drove the final day without any incident and claimed the championship.
The open two-wheel drive battle, it goes right down to the last stage. Dave Strong taking the rally win. But second place was enough to make Willie Hawes the champion in his debut season.
A strange championship to win. Only 4 of us entered and only 2 of us did all the rounds. Some bad luck for Dave not finishing the first round meant it was basically mine to lose from round 2. I was very happy with both mine and Jason's consistent work and finishing all the rounds, which is an accomplishment, and the reliability of the car, which was near perfect. However, my speed, which has slowly got faster throughout the year, hasn't quite as improved as much as I would have hoped, but this gives me plenty to work on in the future. While I won't be back to defend the title next year, I will definitely enter again at some point, hopefully with more competition this time, and try to win the championship on merit of speed. Of course, I couldn't do all of this without the help of my awesome team. Jason for co-driving, Arthur, Nick, Chris, Adam, Tony, Andy and Heather are all legends for giving up their time, plus various other people that have helped out during the year. Also a huge thanks to all the organisers and volunteers that made the event so fun throughout the year. While there will be no championship for me in 2025, there is plenty of exciting motorsport in the pipeline and a new race car, plus some big developments for the 86. Stay tuned for all of that. Cheers for watching.